It's late, the lights are low. You're lying next to someone, maybe with their arm draped over you, maybe just your shoulders touching. And something in your body just lets go. Your breathing slows, your shoulders drop. A kind of heaviness settles in, the good kind, the kind that makes you feel like nothing in the world needs your attention right now. But the real reason this happens is far stranger than affection. Your body isn't just feeling close to someone. It's standing down from a watch it's been keeping the entire time. To understand why, you have to go back to a time before beds, before walls, before doors that lock. For most of human history, sleep was one of the most dangerous things you could do. Not because of nightmares. Because for 8 hours, give or take, you were unconscious, immobile, and almost completely defenseless. No vigilance, no quick reactions. Just a body lying still in the dark. In that world, sleeping alone wasn't just lonely, it was a liability. So your ancestors didn't sleep alone. They slept in piles. Groups of bodies pressed close together, often near a fire. Often in a shelter no more sophisticated than a cave mouth or a windbreak of branches. Multiple people, multiple sets of senses, multiple bodies between you and whatever might be out there in the dark. This wasn't a cultural preference, it was survival architecture. And your body, the version of it that exists right now, was built inside that architecture. Here's where it gets stranger. Your nervous system doesn't just register physical touch as nice. It uses physical contact with another body as a direct signal about your level of safety, not symbolically, literally. Touch is one of the primary inputs your body uses to decide how much it needs to stay on alert. This is where a researcher named Harry Harlow becomes relevant. In the 1950s, Harlow ran a series of studies with infant monkeys, giving them access to 2 artificial mothers, one made of bare wire that dispensed food, and one made of soft cloth that dispensed nothing. Against every expectation at the time, the infant monkeys overwhelmingly preferred the soft cloth mother, clinging to it for comfort, especially when frightened, even though it offered no food at all. What Harlow's work revealed was that physical contact wasn't a secondary, nice to have layered on top of survival needs. It was a survival need in its own right. Contact itself, the simple presence of a warm body to hold on to, directly affected how safe an infant felt, how it responded to stress, and even how it developed. This isn't just true for infant monkeys. The same systems are running in you right now as an adult. When your body is touched, held, hugged, pressed against another warm body, it triggers the release of a hormone called oxytocin. Oxytocin does a lot of things, but one of its clearest effects is dampening the activity of your stress response system. Specifically, it helps lower levels of cortisol, the hormone most associated with vigilance, alertness, and the sense that something might be wrong. In other words, touch doesn't just feel calming. It biochemically tells your nervous system, stand down. The threat monitoring system that's normally running in the background, the one constantly scanning for is something wrong, gets a direct signal that it's allowed to quiet down. And this signal is ancient. It predates language, predates culture, predates almost everything you'd normally think of as human. It's a signal that for millions of years only made sense in one specific context. There is another body here with me, which means I am not alone, which means some of the watching can be shared. Now think about what happens when that signal is absent. If your ancestors found themselves alone at night, separated from the group, away from the fire without the press of other bodies nearby, their nervous system would respond accordingly. Increased vigilance, lighter sleep, a heightened sense that something could go wrong, because in that world something very plausibly could. Here's the twist. Your nervous system still runs this exact calculation. It doesn't know that your bedroom door locks. It doesn't know that there are no predators within 1,000 miles. It only knows what it can directly sense. Is there warmth and contact nearby, or is there not? This might be part of why sleeping alone can feel different than sleeping next to someone, even when nothing is actually wrong. Some people sleep lighter alone. Some people notice every sound. Some people feel a vague sense of unease in an empty house at night that has no obvious cause. None of that is irrational. It's an ancient baseline reasserting itself in the absence of the signal it was designed to receive. And when that signal does arrive, when another body is close, when contact happens, the response is just as automatic. Oxytocin rises. Cortisol falls. The vigilance system, which has likely been running quietly in the background even if you weren't aware of it, gets permission to ease off. That heaviness you feel during a cuddle, the sense of finally being able to fully relax, that's not just an emotional reaction to closeness. It's a direct physiological downshift, the same kind of downshift your ancestors' bodies would have undergone the moment they settled into a pile of familiar, warm bodies for the night, surrounded, protected, no longer the only set of eyes that needed to stay open. This also explains why cuddling can feel calming even with people you're not romantically involved with. A parent, a sibling, a close friend, even a pet. The mechanism isn't really about romance specifically, it's about proximity and touch as a signal of shared vigilance. Group sleeping arrangements throughout history weren't romantic relationships. They were survival units. The nervous system doesn't distinguish between romantic partner and another warm, trusted body nearby. It just registers the second one as evidence that you're not the only line of defense tonight. Modern life has changed almost everything about how humans sleep. Private rooms, solo beds, locked doors, climate control. By almost every measure, you are safer at night than your ancestors ever were. But your nervous system doesn't update based on measures. It updates based on signals. And one of its oldest, most deeply embedded signals is still, is there a warm body near me, or am I the only one watching? So the next time you feel that wave of heaviness during a hug, or that strange sense of unease in an empty house at night, or that almost involuntary relaxation when someone you trust simply sits close to you, know what's actually happening. You're not just feeling emotionally connected. You're receiving one of the oldest safety signals your body knows how to read. The same signal that once meant the difference between a night spent half alert in the dark and a night spent finally, fully asleep.